I'm Amanda from the YouTube channel The Unexpected Farmer's Wife, and today we're making some really easy and beautiful sugar cookies.
Let's get cookies.
We're gonna start with our butter. We need 1 cup or 2 sticks of softened room temperature butter. We cut ours into cubes to make it a little bit easier to get started. Add 1 cup of granulated sugar. Or in this case, perhaps a little less. We got some on the counter. Cream together your sugar and butter. And then we're slowly going to add our eggs and our dry ingredients. These cookies are very easy. It's 3 cups of flour, 1 cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 eggs. Mix to combine. Once all of your ingredients are combined, you'll have a nice sugar cookie dough that's ready to be rolled out. If your butter was too soft, you may want to refrigerate the dough for a little while to get it to firm up. You want a well-floured workspace for your dough, and then you can roll it out. You can use your favorite cookie cutters to make fun shapes. In this case, we're using a maple leaf.
Can I do that?
And it's okay if they're not perfect.
Yes? Yeah. Good job for you. That's it.
We recommend using parchment paper, but in this case, we didn't have any. So this is just some aluminum foil that we ended up greasing so that they wouldn't stick. For years, I struggled to get sugar cookies to come out correctly, but I finally figured out the secret. So what you need to do after you've rolled out the dough and cut them into shapes using your cookie cutters is refrigerate them before you bake them. You need to get that butter really, really firm. Otherwise, it's gonna melt in the oven before they firm up, and they're just gonna kind of go all over the place and you won't have a nice shape. So I pop mine back into the refrigerator. I've got this really cool little drawer that fits 2 cookie sheets nicely. If you're in a pinch, you could try the freezer, but I like the refrigerator. Leave them in here while your oven preheats. Get them nice and firm and then bake them. So as you're working with your dough and looking to make more shapes cut out, you may find that it gets really soft. And this is when you should consider popping it back into the fridge to firm up a little bit before you roll the rest out. Once your cookies are nice and firm, you're gonna bake them at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes or until they're a little brown on the edges, however you like them, but you want them to be firm enough so that you're gonna be able to handle them when they're cool for decorating. So these are the delicious cookies fresh out of the oven.
Fresh cookie oven.
Fresh cookies out of the oven. They look so good. You'll see that they're just lightly brown. They're nice and hot right now, so we have to let them cool completely before we can whip up some frosting for them. But the boys are really, really excited. Cookies cool. We're gonna make royal icing. That's the type of frosting that will harden on the sugar cookies and give it a really beautiful glossy coating. So Wyatt's adding 4 cups of confectionery sugar, also known as powdered sugar, to the mixer, along with 3 tablespoons of meringue powder and a half a cup of hot water. This will give us the base for the royal icing. When you get your royal icing mixed, it's just going to be a white base, and then you're gonna color it, and that's gonna give you the decoration for your cookies. So today we're trying to make some autumn leaves, so we're gonna use a couple of different colors. So I've brought out a few different bowls so we can mix it together. If it's too thick, you can add a little bit more water in small amounts. And if it's too thin, you could add a little bit more confectionery sugar. So there are a couple of different ways that you can color your royal icing. These are gel colors. You can get them at pretty much any craft store or big box store that has cake decorating supplies. These are the Wilton brand. Gel colors work really nicely for coloring royal icing and other frostings because they don't water it down. So that's what we're going to be using today to make some really pretty colors. You really don't need much when you get ready to mix this in. I take the tip of a knife and just pull out a tiny little bit for this small of an amount of royal icing. So one thing you need to know about using royal icing is that you have to move rather quickly because it's going to harden as you work. So what I did here was I just took some of each of the royal icings, put it on a paper plate, and kind of globbed some more on. And now I'm just gonna take the edge of a knife, Max, no thank you, and I'm gonna kind of just create a little bit of a pattern here. And then I'm gonna dip my sugar cookie into this. And now I'm just gonna take my sugar cookie and I'm gonna dip it down into the royal icing. Kind of gently press. It's nice and cool. And then I'm gonna lift it back up.
Now it's tasty.
And that is gonna be our beautiful autumn leaf. I'm gonna set it to dry and help kind of get it over to the edges. One thing to know about royal icing is it's kind of messy. So definitely just be prepared to let the kids have fun. It cleans up fine. You might have to use a little bit of diluted bleach water on your counter if you have really light colored counters like I do, but it will generally come off so long as you don't let it stay on there for too long. Guys, what are we doing today? How are those cookies? How are those fall cookies? Better, Sophie, the one with the frosting or the plain one? You're my taste tester.
The frosting. I do the one with frosting too.
You like the one with the frosting too?